What's up? This is an unplanned live stream. So if you miss it, you can catch it on the replay. But I had some things on my mind because if you're in the Midwest or if you're, you know, near Michigan and some of these other states, you're probably dealing with air quality issues right now. Starting yesterday, it started off as a normal day, and then all of a sudden the sky just got really foggy. It looked, obviously we've had like Canadian wildfire residuals come and impact our air quality before, but this is different. This is different. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like this before. And obviously, I've lived in Michigan most of my life. And honestly, I'm trying to go back to like my childhood. And like I said, I'm in my, early 40s. So I'm just sitting there like, I don't remember ever experiencing reoccurring residuals of wildfires, from Canada before. And a lot of people, who are around my age, they have had the same reflection. When I grew up, we were not experiencing nearly, the wild incidences of wildfires that we have been experiencing as of late. And I automatically thought something was suspect about these wildfires. And I know that this content is going to be suppressed because I truly do believe that these demons who have been in positions of power are really trying to population control humanity. Like these are strategies to multiple strategies are at play for me. But as I've been sitting here thinking about it, I had to go to Copilot. And I asked Copilot a couple of questions about these wildfires. And the first question I asked Copilot, because they keep saying these are Canadian wildfires, but apparently there are 28 US states that are currently experiencing wildfires. And in this season alone, they said over 1.9 million acres have been destroyed by these wildfires. So I just want you guys to sit on that. Like, what is happening currently? According to this AI that is sweeping the internet to find information for me, it is saying that currently there are 28 United US states that are having active wildfires. All right. So this is not a Canadian thing, right? That's what they keep selling to Detroit people in Michigan is this is Canadian wildfires. And what do you know? You got 29 states that are currently having active wildfires. So then I asked my AI companion here, I'm like, of these 28 states that are currently experiencing wildfires, how many of them have data centers in them, right? And I like Copilot. I'm not sure if any of you like this is kind of my AI of choice. And so Copilot says, well, 70% of the 28, of the states, 70% of the states experiencing wildfires have data centers in them. All right. So that's something to think about because they keep telling us that, oh, wildfires are because of, it gets hot and then the thunder and then it strikes and then bullshit. Most of the times this shit is because of humans. Something that humans are doing. Because I swear we are the enemies of this earth. But most of the time, these wildfires are caused by the human beings. And I'm going to venture to say that it's more of the corporations than even the regular consumers. But anyways, what's going on? Shannon, I see you. I see you. Is it Manco family? I see you. Um, but this is to me, this is a very interesting coincidence that number one, they're underselling the wildfires, at least here in Michigan, talking about these are Canadian, right? And then when you go over to Canada, and I'm just gonna go back over here to Copilot here, because right now they said, let me see, over 400 wildfires active in about 28 states right now. And then I said, and then there's no active wildfires, obviously, in this state of Michigan, but we are definitely getting the residuals of the wildfires because our air quality is actually the worst in the world. Like, how the fuck are we not even burning? And yet, our air quality in Detroit and Michigan is actually worse than the source that is causing our air problem, which they're saying is Canada. How is it that we have the worst air quality right now? We have the most dangerous air quality in the world, not the United States, in the world. All right. And our state is not even on fire. We're supposed to be getting residuals from another country. And yet our air quality is the worst in the world right now. Like, somebody make that make sense to me. Yeah, no, look up Detroit. Detroit is actually above, Michigan is above India right now. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So I went on and I asked him, like, what states are currently having active wildfires: Utah, Colorado, Minnesota, Oregon, California, Nevada, Arizona, Alaska, and several others. Okay, so these are just some of the states, according to Copilot, that have active wildfires. And he said many of the states currently experiencing wildfires are also home to data centers that face significant climate risks. For example, states like California, Oregon, and Virginia have both reported wildfire activity and are notable locations for data centers. Okay, studies have highlighted that around 79% of global data center capacity is exposed to climate hazards. All right, including wildfires. All right. In the United States, the most at risk include areas with large or growing data centers, right? Like California, making them particularly vulnerable to both acute and chronic climate threats. Right? So I don't think these people are even, like, they're so obsessed with being big brother and micromanaging the thoughts and actions of regular human beings that have free will, where God gives us free will. These demons obviously want to take it, right? But they're not even evaluating the ecological, impacts on with these data centers. And I just think that we need to be watching the correlation between these wildfires and the data centers that just magically pop up. Because if you're talking about 1.9 million acres of US land have been destroyed by these wildfires, don't be surprised. And in Minnesota, right, it just happens to be by a lake, right? So don't these data centers need access to a water source? So I would be interested to see if these wildfires, if there's a correlation with there being a data center plan in that area. And because to me, it's like, why would I bulldoze and remove a whole bunch of trees when I can just burn them down in a wildfire and clean up the ashes? Okay. To me, wildfires do a couple of things. It knocks out the wildlife and everything around living for a while. So you can't say that there was any natural resources to be tapped into because everything was destroyed by the fire, right? So it justifies these data centers being in these areas were these wildfires. So I'm interested in seeing the correlation between this land that has been destroyed by these natural disaster wildfires and the emergence of new data centers in these areas. And again, a lot of these areas are being hit with in residential areas too. So it's like, why would we have to worry about you and your city council and you lamenting about this? We'll just wipe out your town with a wildfire and you won't have no choice but to leave or accept this data center. You know what I mean? So I pray that what you saying, you're Michael Jackson. You're about to get blocked if you come up in here with dumbass shit again. What's going on, Isaac? Can't hang out. I see you, Isaac, but I'm not staying on long either. I just thought that these, like, correlations between these wildfires and some of the things that multiple states are experiencing, they're underreporting the outbreak of multiple wildfires in the United States. It's not just Canada. It's not just Minnesota. There are several states in this nation right now that are suspiciously experiencing wildfires. And I would say for the conscious, just check out like what data center emerges after all is said and done, because I really do feel like this is just a big intentional natural disaster. I don't think that most natural disasters are really coming from nature. I really think that a lot of this stuff is man-made, and anytime you can cloud seed and fuck with the weather, and you got Middle Eastern countries that haven't had rain in forever, then all of a sudden they destroy your little weather program, and then all of a sudden they're getting rain. Their drought is over. The devil is a liar, y'all. The devil is a liar. He's a liar. And if you're not smart enough to kind of see what these demons, these spawns of wickedness are doing, I pray for you, because I really do believe that this is a part of end times prophecy. I think that, obviously people are very, very desperate to kind of create a end time scenario, to mock the scriptures, to mock the prophecies with their little technologies that eat up bandwidth. But, the devil is a liar and God is good. And I just look forward to judgment on all these wicked people. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are you experiencing wildfires at the moment? Are you, and it was interesting is that they say that in this season, there have been more than the usual wildfires. Right? They said more than 60,000 acres were burned in Minnesota. I'm sorry, in Canada. So in Canada alone, right, that's 60,000 acres of opportunity for a data center that the people might not have wanted, but since a wildfire pretty much knocked out the natural resources in the area, these little demons can go on with it with an excuse now. I don't even believe that. I still don't believe that little Hawaii wildfire thing and all that bullshit. Like, these people are planning this shit. The shit is orchestrated because they want something. They want the land. And because they're demonic in their souls and their spirit, they don't care who they kill or what they wipe out to get it. Sounds familiar? It's the lineage of evil. It's in their bloodline. All right? People don't realize that we are dealing with, around the world, a bloodline of evil. And some people may say that's racist, that's evil. Well, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did not think it was evil to deem certain bloodlines as unholy and unrighteous. And believe me, their people still exist today. And honestly, he even marked them. Like, see, a lot of people think that the Canaanites, they're like, when Noah cursed his son Ham, that curse was just about servitude. No, it is very clear that the Canaanites' curse was beyond servitude. They were unattractive, evil, wicked as baby sacrificing people, and that never left their bloodline to this very day. So some of the weird shit that you're talking about, like Epstein, he's a Canaanite Edomite descendant. You can look at his face, because with Canaanites, again, you have to be a biblical scholar to understand what I'm saying. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob fixed the descendants of Ham at the nose. Whether they were pure blood African descendants, like Nubians and Egyptians, or Canaanites, they were fixed at the nose. This is why there are a lot of people, a lot of features that you will trace to this day, because they maintain ancestry from antiquities. So a lot of these devil Zionists that are ruining the world today, they are the lineage of evil. And that's what we got going on. All these tech lords, they're bloodlines of evil. So of course they're going to be doing wicked shit. So keep your prayers up. Keep your prayers up. All right. That's all I can say. But let me know if you are trapped in your house. And what's really messed up in Michigan is that DTE has been just on some foul shit with all these power outages. So a lot of people, we had a storm last week, and there are people who still don't have power. So add the fact that the air quality sucks. They're telling everybody to keep your doors and your windows shut, right? And let's just say you're a person who don't have a central air conditioning unit like I do, right? That's a pretty messed up scenario to have to endure. So I pray for all the people who are still, experiencing power outages right now. I pray for you as we're dealing with the demons and the residuals of their actions, because I do not believe that these wildfires are incidental. I don't believe that they are an act of nature. I believe that they are the act of people who want data centers and lands, and the quickest way to get that land is to create a wildfire. And it's just coincidental that these little wildfires happen to have bodies of water next to them. But anyways, y'all, that's just me going on my little visionary tangent about what these demons might be doing. And you may have a different opinion that you're entitled to, of course. But anyways, that's what I think of it. This is a land grab, and the best way to grab the land is to set it on fire. Make it undesirable. Wildfires fucked up the land for years. So even the residents would not be able to really occupy their land after a wildfire, because the natural resources need months to even years sometimes to kind of regrow themselves and get healthy. So, I look at these wildfires as a land grab. The coincidence of them is just, to me, it's just too coincidental that we got 28 states that are currently experiencing active wildfires, and 70% of them have data centers. There's a correlation there. There's a correlation there. But anyways, you guys, love your neighbor as yourself. If you would not disrespect or abuse yourself, which I see so many people do, but if you don't do that, don't disrespect or abuse your neighbor. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. If you missed this live stream, it's pretty short, so you can definitely catch it on the replay. But let me know what you guys think about these wildfires. Obviously my brain goes to making correlations of causes. And honestly, this is a human factor at play, not nature. And to me, when I start evaluating the why behind why a human would want to do something like that, to me, it goes back to these data centers. You got townships of people who are openly rebelling against these things. And it's just like Maui, right? You have rich developers juiced up to just go in there right after that devastation and just buy up and blockbuster those people's land. So to me, I don't look at every wildfire or fire as a situation. And it's a lot of crooked ass shit going on in Minnesota too. So I can imagine this being a nice little distraction from the bullshit that's going on in their politics in their state as well. So a lot of this shit is sus, but y'all keep your prayers up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.